it found its way to me. All right, what were we even talking about?
I was talking about a cat, but if you...
Oh, yeah. Welcome to this random kitchen in my next guest's actual kitchen this week. I am Brittany Bass, a full-time passenger seat princess and operations manager of Matt Becker Fishing. I am also Matt Becker's girlfriend, for those of you who don't know me yet. He's a professional bass fisherman on the Bass Pro Tour with Major League Fishing, and we are in full swing of our second year on this tour. So with this channel and podcast, I get to bring you some of the best wives, fiancés, and girlfriends to talk about their lives, their superstitions, because we got them too, and all the behind-the-scenes goodness that goes into making a tournament season possible from the back end. So this is episode 10 of Random Kitchens. Welcome back, everyone. Today I am very, very pumped to introduce you to a double puppy mama, business manager, and Bass Pro Tour rookie, Nick Hatfield's wife, Bella Hatfield.
Hello. Hello. So happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for having me in your not so random kitchen to you, but random kitchen to me. So we are currently sitting, like I said, in her kitchen, which is super fun. They actually only live like 2 hours from us, so while we're in between tournaments, I just shut up here so that I could introduce you guys to her. So, like I said, or we were talking about before, a listener commented, and they were like, they had a great suggestion, which I really loved. So first, I'm going to put up a picture of Bella and Nick so you guys have the full picture of who they are and who he is, so when you see him on live, you'll know he is attached to Bella. So right here, I'm just going to insert a picture in editing. So this is them. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the top. Who are you and where are you from?
I'm Isabella, or Bella Hatfield. I'm from Greenville, Tennessee. I'm 25 years old, and I'm basically all that Brittany said: a puppy mom, business manager, Nick's wife, all of that good stuff.
All of the help on the back end.
Yeah. And
this is their rookie year on the BPT, but how many years has Nick been fishing on a professional circuit?
This probably makes 5 years, 5 or 6 without counting college. So 5 or 6.
Yep. And when did you start traveling together?
This has been the first full year I traveled. Well, yeah, last year I had to miss a few, so this is the first full year that I've
I couldn't remember. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, there was a few things last year that I couldn't come to a few, so this is the first full year.
The whole shebang.
Yes.
So we're going to split the show up into 2 sections, as you guys know, with a break in the middle. This first part is going to be a deep dive into their 2 story, or them together story, and then we'll get into their tournament life. So, how did you guys meet? Let's hear the actual love story.
We met his best friend in high school, and my still best friend to this day. We're brother and sister. And I had always known of Nick. I went to school with Nick's younger brother, Lance, and I always knew that he had an older brother. And so I was talking with my best friend that day, and I was like, I'd love to just, wonder what his Snapchat name is. I was like, I wonder if it's the same thing as his Instagram name. So I was like, well, I'm just going to try and add it and see what happens. So I typed in, Nick Hat 47 in the little friend box or whatever and pressed add. And I think I sent a picture first. And I was just like, hey, I think I just sent a selfie. And I was just like, hey, smiley face or something. And to be honest, I don't even remember what he said back. And then we started talking, and he said, text me, and sent me his phone number. And I texted him, and we talked for a day or 2. And then he left me on red for a month and a half. And I was like, okay,
this man.
To heck with this guy. And we never heard from him for a month and a half, and then my phone dings, and I'm like, who's that number? Because I didn't even have his number saved. And I was like, who is that? And it was him, and he texted me, and he was like, hey, sorry, I've been super busy, or something like that. And I was
a month and a half? Did you go into a coma?
Yeah.
You never called anyone else?
I was was like, for a month and a half. So I kind of played it off, like, didn't give him a bunch of attention, and then I just fell into it. And here we are, like, 7 years later, so.
Is he a big, sappy, romantic guy?
No, not at all.
Are you?
No, not really. Like, on Easter, I bought him this little chocolate bunny, and he walked in, and he was like, what's that? And I was like, it's your little Easter present. And he was like, oh.
See, you're romantic.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything for Matt for Easter.
I like getting gifts.
Yeah.
I'm a gift girl.
Like, are you a gift getter, or you
like
giving?
I'm not a good gift getter.
You like to give them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. I thought about it. I really did, because I was like, oh, that would be so cute. But then, time gets away with you.
Definitely.
So who said I love you first?
I think him. I was dropping him. We used to go eat lunch like every day when he was in college and I was in college. We had like the same break, kind of. So
that's nice.
I would go pick him up from school, and then we'd go eat lunch, and I would take him back to campus. And he was getting out of the car, and we hadn't even been together that long, like 2 months maybe. And I wasn't ready to say I love you yet. And he said, he got out of the car and he was like, bye, I love you. And he was like, and he just shut the door. And then he texted me, and he was like, I like mean it, but I didn't mean to say it. And I was like, that's okay. Like, it's okay. And so he said it first. And then when he actually said it, he said it first.
Yeah, too.
Yeah.
Like, I actually mean to say this out loud. I feel like boys, for whatever reason, like, know in their head before women do. I think we know, like, yes, but at the same time, it's, like, a little slower of, like, I need to hold on to this
really
for a little.
Make sure.
Yeah. Like, hold on to these words a little while longer.
Yeah, I think so.
My mom said my dad used to always say, what was it? I love you most of the time. Until he, like, decided, like, officially, like, we're gonna get married, like, I'm gonna propose, and then it was like, I love you all the time. And I was like, I'll be pissed.
Yeah.
But I thought it was
most of the time.
Yeah, no, it's cute too. Yeah. But I was like, oh man, Mom, like, how did you take that?
Yeah, really. I would be the same way. Like,
I know, I'd be like, but like, the not most of the times, like, what am I doing?
To make you not love me all of the time.
And then my little brother, he grew up saying, I love you and I like you. And he, like, always, like, I like you too. And then when he was mad, he'd be like, I love you, but I don't like you right now. I think it's funny.
I don't like you.
I don't like you right now.
Yeah.
So, you dated for how many years, and now you're married for how many years?
We dated for about 4.5 years, and we've been married. It'll be 2 years in May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So 6 total. Right?
Yeah,
is that right?
Probably.
Yeah.
We talked for a little bit before we dated a few months, but
dang, I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah.
That's a good amount of time.
Together quite a while.
I know. And you guys have 2 puppies together. So tell me about them. Yeah.
Bree and Crow are their names. We've had Bree. I begged for her. I wanted a puppy so bad, and I wanted a yellow lab. And he was like, well, his best friend in high school, he had a litter of puppies, and they were chocolate labs. And I was like, well, we'll just go look at them. And I fell in love with the one we have, Bree. And so she'll be 6 in November, so she's 5.
And you guys named her after something kind of cool.
Yeah, her real name is, I guess you pronounce it Brizzo, but it means protector of fishermen. Like, it's some Greek goddess or something. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But it's some, like, protector of fishermen.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so cute.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Does she like fishing? Like, does she go on the boat?
Oh, yeah. She loves it. Loves it. I have a hilarious picture on my phone. We were, like, bluegill fishing one day. And Nick caught a fish, and it was just, like, flopping everywhere. But it was still on the line. And it, like, wrapped around his leg. And just how she is in the picture, she's, like, has her mouth open, like, trying to bite it. And she's, like, her ears are all flipped back. It's just a candid picture of them.
Can I have it for this?
Yes.
Okay, I'll put it in there.
I'll send it to you.
That's awesome. And then Crow.
Yeah,
how did Crow get his name? Or how did he come to be, I guess?
Yeah, we were in Wisconsin for the last invitational last year on the Mississippi. And we had to stay in a hotel that week. We, I guess, just never found an Airbnb. But I was out in the park eating my lunch, reading a book one day, and this guy, and we didn't have Bree with us, And this guy walked in with 2 chocolate lab puppies and his 2 daughters. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to get up and go pet him. And I started talking to the guy, and he was like, or I told him that we had another chocolate lab at home and we had thought about getting another one. And he was like, well, actually, this one's for sale.
Oh, that was your
And I was like, oh no. So I called Nick immediately, and he was like practicing fishing. He was like, leave me alone. I was like, I'm not trying to worry about a dog right now. And I was like,
well,
but Nick, yeah. And so I told the guy, I was like, we'll think about it. Like, I need to talk to my husband a little bit more. And we thought about it until, like, the next day. And then I messaged the guy, and I was like, we'll take him. He was so cute. And we love him. He's
and
so
he's
cute.
Crow.
Yes, he's Crow. And his name, there was a restaurant up there called The Crow. I think that's what it was called. But we ate there, like, almost every single night because we were in a hotel and just didn't cook there.
No.
And there wasn't a ton of restaurants, but The Crow, it was actually really good. And so we ate there every single night. And the guys we were staying with, they were like, you should name him Crow. And I was like, that's actually so cute. I loved that. And so we all started
masculine too. Like, it's a good dog.
And they were all like harping on Nick, like, you've got to get Bella Crow. Like, you have to do it for.
They named him before you got him.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, well, then that's like real. Like, you're totally in
and
for
then,
it.
So we drove 17 hours home with a chocolate lab puppy.
What did Bree do when you got him here?
He hated her at first. She was just like trying to play, and she was just super excited to see us because we'd been gone for a while. And we brought him through the front door and just like sat him on the ground. We should have done it outside. And he like was backing up real slow, and then like stood up on his back feet and like cried / barked. And we were like, oh gosh, we thought like she would hate him, but he actually really doesn't like her. And then she started not to like him, but now they love each other and they're best friends and play all the time. So,
and they're a year apart, so that's not too bad, right?
No, Bree's 5 and he'll be 1 in May.
Oh, I was very old.
Yeah, so about 4.
So he's a real baby.
Yeah.
Wow, that's why he was all legs.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know his paws yet. So are they more obsessed with you or Nick?
Since we got Crow, supposedly there's a thing like boy dogs are more prone to attach to women, and female dogs are more prone to attach to men. And I think that's pretty true. Before we got Crow, Bree was like all about me, and then when we got Crow, Crow's been like all about me. So Bree's kind of attached more to Nick, and Crow he's my baby.
That's kind of nice though.
Yeah.
I feel like if you got a dog, like when Matt and I talk, like I know if we get a dog, like they are going to attach to him because like I love dogs. He loves dogs, but for whatever reason, because he plays so aggressively, like they love him. Yeah. And so I know like I'll be, third in the tank because I'm already, behind bass fishing. No, I'm kidding. But I will be. I'm like, babe, if we get a dog, we're going to have to get 2 because I'm going to need one and then you need one. Yeah. Like I need one to love me as well.
I tell Nick he's going to make him mean all the time. I'm like, you have got to stop playing with him.
So rough.
Because Crow, he kind of will like, if you blow in his face or just like start messing with him real rough, he'll like kind of
He does like a a alligator.
Because you play with him, like just be lovable and nice.
Matt'll go like like and they do it back because it's like little mouths. I'm like, but you're making them bite people.
Yeah.
like
they
love it. I'm like, I'm sure they do. The next person won't love it.
Crazy.
So if you had to choose the puppies or Nick, who would you choose?
I don't know. The dogs love me more. Like, I really think they do. I mean, if they could talk, the dogs. If the dogs could talk, the dogs. I would pick the dogs. But I guess I would pick Nick.
At least he's a strong second.
Yeah, he's a strong second. Just because he can talk. That's the only reason, buddy.
Oh my gosh. So, backing up a little bit, while they're a full-time fishing family, they also have another business back home or here. So, talk to me a little bit about that. How do you guys manage both of them? First, I guess, what is it? And then, how do you guys make it all work?
So, it's been 5 years ago, probably, Nick started a guttering and siding business to really fund his fishing or have money and the time to be able to go fishing. And
because working for yourself, you can fish.
So he owns the guttering and siding business, but really how we do it all is his brother Lance. He got on with the business a year and a half ago, probably.
Oh, that's nice.
And he is fantastic at running it while we're away, and it's just the best system. I'm so glad that they're able to work together as brothers and family, and it goes so well. So we're very thankful for him being able to run it successfully while we're away.
And then when you guys come back into town, what does that look like with the business? Does he jump right back in? Like, how does that?
He does. So while we're at home, he doesn't do a ton of fishing. I mean, he'll go like on the weekends, or if there's like a little jackpot tournament or whatever, he'll do those. And he wants to practice as much as he can, but when we're home, it's usually all guttering.
Business.
Yeah. So Lance runs the siding part of the business, and well, he runs the whole business, but he does more of the siding part.
Yeah, he takes point on that, and then Nick takes point on the
gutters. Yeah,
gotcha.
Definitely.
I think that's a good system, because then it's more of like an even balance. There's a cardinal out there. I love cardinals.
It's been sitting out there a long time. When you were doing the little intro, I was like, it's right there.
I love. They like follow me. I swear. Mm-hmm. And I like. Sorry, random tangent, but I definitely think, it's like ancestors watching a video.
Too.
And so, I get chills every time because I love them. I'm like, I don't even know if it's their season. I don't even know if they have a season, but I see them everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere I am, and I just love it.
I'm the same way. Random tangent, too. My best friend, her significant other, he passed away. It'll be 2 years in April. 2 years this month.
Oh my gosh.
And I was on the way to his funeral, and of course I'd been like praying for my best friend just for like everything. And I was on the way to his funeral, and a cardinal, I almost hit it with my windshield. It just got so close to me. And I think I was just like driving down the road, just like praying and just like talking to him and everything. And it flew like right in front of my windshield, and I almost hit it. And I think I just like burst out into tears. It was just like,
I would have too.
Crazy.
Like a good little sign. Like I always, and I know like you're not really like, God's not like a sign man as far as like he doesn't have to do anything. But I always am like, please, like anything. Yeah. And I love the Cardinals because I like know in my heart that that's what it is.
I do too.
Sorry, random tangent, but I just saw it, and they're so beautiful, and they're so bright red. They just like are stark contrast to like everything, like the gray of what's going, anything. So, but yeah, so crazy. While they are full-time fishing, they also are full-time business. So I find extreme value in that, not only because you have a way of earning money outside of this industry, but I mean, it's like an incredible thing to balance. And I am so proud of the families that do it, because I can't imagine it. Like, I know what we go through. I know what everyone goes through. So I'm very proud of you guys, for even doing it. And even when we talk about off-season breaks, you guys don't even really have one of those.
Yeah, there's really not an off-season doing both. And thanks for saying that, just proud and everything. But yeah, there's really not a huge off-season. I mean, in the winter, the gutters and siding are slower than it is in the summer and spring. But
yeah, it is kind of crazy. Our mayhem time is y'all's mayhem time as well.
Yeah.
Fishing and...
Whew, it gets a lot. I think he's a little stressed where we're about to leave for a month, just being able to get all the work done that needs to be done with just Lance and his crew. And Nick has his crew that works, but it's also just hard when we're not here.
He's gone.
Yeah.
No, I get that. And you help him with some of the back end of that?
Yeah, I do. Lance, since he's got on, we hired a bookkeeper, and she does all the payroll now and everything. Gosh. So I still do a few invoices and quotes and email some people and stuff like that, but
that's probably really helpful.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot to balance anyways.
Yeah. All the tax stuff and everything, so.
Yeah, oh my, this season.
I know.
It's
awful.
No good. It's no good.
Yeah.
I actually, remind me after this, we need to re-email our tax guy. Please remind me. It was on my list. I keep forgetting. And then it was Easter. And so it was just like...
just kept getting backed up.
Yes. Did you guys have a good Easter?
We did. Did y'all?
Yeah, we did. I was like so happy we were home for it, you know?
I know. I told Nick, I was like, I feel like we're missing a tournament. Like, you are never home on Easter. This feels so weird. Like, we've got to be missing something.
Yeah, normally we find, like, a random church or, like, they do fishing church and stuff. So, like, we'll go to that. But, like, it's never here. No. I mean, it really isn't. It felt very odd.
That's what I told Nick. I was like, are you sure?
Yeah. Like, we had everything. Yeah. But it was nice.
Something feels off.
You guys have family here, or did y'all go to family?
No, my family here and his family here. We just swap between the two.
That's nice. That's lots of food.
It is.
I love that. That's like Christmas time.
It's fabulous. Yes, definitely. All the food.
Do you help him with the fishing side of the business as well?
I do. Like, what do you like? Contracts and all that stuff and social media and all that
like
stuff.
all the back end stuff.
Yeah, I do.
I didn't know if you were completely out. Like, some wives are completely out of the business, and then some, like, you know, do a whole lot, and some, it definitely is, like, taking that burden off of, like, the scheduling part. So I didn't know, you know, where you fit into it.
I mean, like, I'll, before the tournaments, go on, like, Airbnb, VRBO, do all that, write all the schedules out, like, keep up with all the receipts, do all the...
all the back end.
Yeah. Definitely not as much as she does, but I'm still there helpful.
So, though.
I mean, I do a ton.
Yeah, but the only additional is, like, the videos.
The videos,
stuff. Yeah. But that, like, that's just because I love that. Yeah. You know, that's, like, my bread and butter is, like, the digital stuff. That's where I have fun.
I need, like, a crash course.
I could do
lesson.
that.
Yeah. We need to do that.
It's really not that hard, but it is super fun. I really like it. It's, like, where I get my, like, creative juices, you know, off, I guess. Yeah. So, do you go fishing with Nick at all?
I do, like when we're home, or we go fishing a lot more in the winter just because I guess the guttering's a little bit slower. But we go fishing quite a bit in the winter. Our lakes here are super fun to fish. But
I go because they don't freeze down here. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about the ice.
Yeah, no ice. I mean, it's extremely cold, but we still have fun. But I love fishing. I love going.
Good. I wasn't sure. I actually didn't ask it that way last time, like if you actually enjoyed it or if you just went. So I'm glad.
Yeah, I love it. Except when, like, I'm not a big scope girl. I don't like the scope. So, like, when he's...
Do you know how to use it?
Kind of, like...
But he's in front of it normally, so you're...
Yeah, and he'll be like, throw it this one. And then I'll be like, no, you missed it, really. And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, I just got it out there, like...
Yeah, I
don't love that.
I can't, if he's scoping, like, I like drag behind him, basically, because unless I'm up there, like, I love watching it. Like, I love watching them eat my bait 100%. But he loves it too, so we both can't be up there at the front, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, when it's really fun is, like, crappie fishing, because there's, like, a whole bunch of them. You're not just targeting, like, one or, like,
that's what I like, you know, like a big school of fish that you can just throw you right in and get bit every single time. That's me.
I'm, like, a catching fan.
Yeah.
So if he's gonna go out and try and, like, find the fish or identify a pattern, then I'm a reading fan. And I'll go on the boat and just read. But if we're catching, like, we went yesterday and I had a freaking ball catching drum.
Did you?
And he was like, they're dumb drum. And I was like, they're huge and amazing. And they were like whales. I was like, I think I got a whole log.
That's hilarious. We do that on Douglas, striper fishing. Yeah. Or, like, white bass or whatever. Yes. I'm like, I'm still so catching them. It's fun.
To them, the fish, like, is trash. I'm like, it's a fish.
Yeah. I'm the same. I'm the same.
What is your most fun memory together, fishing or non-fishing? Well, one, actually, tell them your funny story when you guys, like, first went fishing. I think, not first went fishing, but when he caught what might have been his biggest bass on Cherokee Douglas. And you might have or might not have been a good net girl.
Yeah. I was like, what is she talking about? I couldn't think of it. It was like a little summer night tournament, like 6 to 9 or something like that on our home lake Douglas. And we were, I think he was fishing like brim beds or something and throwing a worm or something. And That might be really wrong. That might not even be like the season for that. So if he listens to this and hears me say that, that's probably super wrong. But
I'm sure it's not.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not.
He had a fish and he was like, get the net. Like, get the net. It's a big one. And I think we ended up getting second place in the tournament because I got the net and actually I think it was on a crankbait. I don't know. Besides the point. And I hit the fish's mouth with the net, and it just like popped right off. And he was so upset. Like,
did you see a tear?
Yes, I did.
I think I would have cried too.
He did. He cried a little bit, and like I almost started crying. I was like, "Oh no, what did I just do?" I just like turned around and went and sat down.
I know,
like,
you just don't talk for a while.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I do.
No, like
I can't believe you guys still got second though.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 fish limit.
Yeah.
I mean, that one definitely would have helped, but I think there was like 10, 12 people fishing, so
okay.
Not like a huge tournament, obviously, but
y'all will have to go back and find that big fish.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a funny story, but...
Yeah, okay, so that's my funny moment. Yeah.
Do you have a funny non-fishing memory together?
I'm bad of thinking on the spot. Funny non-fishing.
Or just like fun, like something that you really enjoyed. It doesn't have to be fishing related.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, you guys have been like nose to the grindstone with like working, so I was trying to think like vacation wise, if you've done anything that's like super fun outside of it, because you guys.
When we went to Key West, that was really fun for our honeymoon. When I was used to work for a company and I couldn't get the time off to go on a honeymoon. So the first tournament last year, Okeechobee, we just drove down to Key West after that, and it was really fun. It's super beautiful down there, and we had a lot of fun.
Did y'all do like a resort down there?
We did. We did like a private resort.
Oh, that's nice.
I forget what it was called.
Did y'all have a golf cart? Or like a moped or something?
No, we never did that.
Did y'all bring his boat down there?
No, my grandfather lives in Miami.
Thank gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
it was so bad.
Tight.
We got towed in Key West and everything. But that
big truck got towed?
Yes. We were in his like big huge truck and it got towed. And that's kind of a funny story too. Nick booked us a trip to go deep sea fishing, which I hated.
No, you didn't like it?
Well, it wasn't really deep sea fishing. It was like
offshore?
Yeah.
Or like like not hours out, just like right off. Okay.
Yeah. And we were he was catching barracuda. And like I wasn't catching anything. And I think the guide felt bad for me. And then Nick started to feel bad for me. So he would like catch one and get it on the hook and he'd be like, here you go, reel it in. And I'm like,
no, that's not the same. It's not. And I don't know how people do that. No, it's not the same.
No, it's not the same. I was like, you don't have to feel bad for me. Yeah, like, I'm not.
It's not a pity thing. Yeah. I just want to catch them.
Yeah, the guide would stand on the top of the boat and he would see the barracuda in the water and he'd be like,
cool.
Throw at 3:00 p.m. or throw at 11 a.m. And I'd be like,
in just your relation, my relation.
I would just be like scattered and throw the complete opposite way, and he'd be like, "Not that way." Like, well, I can't do this. I'm just gonna sit out here and tan. But we were on the way to breakfast that morning. We went and got breakfast, and taking the big truck, we should have just Ubered or something. So we parked in this like little parking lot. And we were sitting there eating at breakfast, and Nick got a notification on his phone, and he was like, your truck is at an incline or something like that. And so we like hurry up and paid for breakfast and like ran all the way back to the parking lot, and it was gone. So we had to take it was like a $50 Uber from the parking lot to where they towed it, and then back to the place we met the guide to get on the boat. It was a mess, but we had so much fun. Your truck is on an incline. Yeah, it sent that, and he was like, "Oh my gosh!"
I'm surprised he thought like towed.
Yeah, me too. No, me either. I have a funny picture of us too, and we're just like standing beside a sign that says like "You will be towed" or something, and it's funny. But
we'll insert here.
I'll just send you all the pictures.
I like this little picture thing. So thank you for that comment, Karen, because that's a great one. So obviously traveling can make quality time a little bit hard, and then with their version, especially because they are not only fishing traveling, but then they come home and work, so quality time in general is probably very difficult. So what's y'all's like go-to date night activity at home and on the road? Do you guys have a favorite thing?
At home, we'll go to the movie theater. We don't like go out a ton. We don't eat out a ton at home. We'll go to the movie theater and get like a big bucket of popcorn and just come home and like find a movie or find a TV show to watch. That's what we do.
That's so funny. Do they ever look at you guys because y'all go in and out?
No. I used to work
at like a lot of people that do that.
Yes, I used to work there, and people would just come in and get a bucket of popcorn and
it's smart. Like, I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
They have the best, like, Diet Coke and stuff, too, because they have the good ice.
Yeah.
Like, I bet I could walk in there and get one of those.
Yeah, definitely.
I have to add it to my routine.
They will take your money. They definitely will.
Regardless of how it's given.
Yeah,
We have the movie Palace in Athens, so I'll have to hit them up.
Yeah.
It's like a castle. It's pretty,
really?
Yeah, it's cool.
We just have
like a little castle.
Plain old Carmike cinemas.
Yeah.
Nothing special. The popcorn's good.
Yeah.
But on the road, like date night on the road, we're usually with like a bunch of other guys.
Yeah.
Like, and I listen to yours, and sometimes it's just not feasible to do it. Like, if we go out to eat, like everybody goes, so it's not just us. I like what you said, like driving. Like, that's how we get our quality time, really. Like, 17 hours in the car with each other. Sometimes I get tired of it. And I'm like, God, are we there yet? But
we always say it's like our version of Netflix and chill, because like other people will sit on the couch, like we just are driving. It's like a moving couch is what it is. But I mean, we'll listen to podcasts. Like, I'll put The Office on. Obviously, like, he can't watch, but he can listen. Or like we'll watch. Like if a football game is on, like we'll listen to that. So it is like Netflix and chill.
Yeah, really, it is.
But very similar in like tournament weeks are hard because they stay with people, we stay with people. So it's like. You can't,
you don't get a lot of alone time.
And your alone time really isn't alone because everyone is like there and they're like still talking in the background. Like it's not the same. They're like hooting and hollering.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
So, what do you think is the best part of loving a tournament angler?
Just seeing like the dedication and the hard work and how much they love it. Just want to do it every day and just rarely get tired of doing it.
Which is so crazy.
The drive and dedication. I just love watching Nick get to do what he loves.
Yeah, I love that too. Yeah. And I really do. Like, it's actually mind-blowing how not tired of it. Like, it's never a chore. Yeah, and they've got so much crap to do, like, in preparation, and it's never never a chore.
No.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think the hardest part of loving a tournament angler is? It didn't have to have a hard part either, but...
I would say just, like, the quality time together, just, like, sometimes not fully connecting as a couple.
Yeah.
Not necessarily connecting, but just, like, getting the time that you need.
To, like, touch base, actually touch base.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Especially when we tournament hop. Like, sometimes a month has gone by and you're like...
Wait,
like,
back up.
Yeah, we need to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's look in each other's faces for a second.
Yeah.
So what is something you do for just you while you're on the road?
I always try to
you
find
can hear my stomach, so I'm so sorry. I don't know if you guys can, but it's growling.
I'll usually find somewhere to go get my nails done, or go on a walk, find a park or a trail or something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, do something.
Just aside from the fishing stuff. I love that. I love to get my nails done, which I clearly still I need it because
these two.
I had them done for Red Crest, and then I haven't had a chance to like go back.
I had on, I think it was dip, and then I got the dip off, and then I just got gel. Yeah, and they all just started breaking off. Yeah,
dang.
So I need to redo them or get them done.
So, a piece of advice for a lady that is just starting in the fishing family. What do you think is like a good piece of advice or something to like know or that you wish you would have known?
Not necessarily.
It's because of the coffee. Like, I don't know what the hell is wrong with me.
Mine does the same. Mine does the same. I can't believe I haven't eaten anything this morning, but I drank coffee.
Normally I don't, but when I drink coffee.
Yeah. I would say a piece of advice, not really get ready to be put on the back burner, but just like during fishing season, it's a huge part of your life, and if you're dating an angler who loves it as much as Nick does, it's going to be like your life for several months at a time.
Yeah. And I would say, like, Kristen and I were talking about this on our podcast, like, it's not really that they wouldn't choose you over it, but during fishing tournament time, you have to understand they need to choose it over you.
Yeah.
So, like, definitely understanding that it's going to be back burner, like, at least for that week.
Or, like, a huge tournament might come before, like, Mom will ask me, like, hey, can we go eat dinner? Like, and you might have to say, no, could we go tomorrow instead? Like, Nick has a big tournament or something like that.
Or, well, we can't really do dinner on these days because they're tournament days, but he has an off day the next day, so we can do it this day and, like, plan around
Or, trying to schedule stuff like, oh, we won't be home then, we'll be home that following Monday or something. And that might not be like every couple. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how everyone else does it, but we're very similar, and I know that a lot of wives are very similar. Whereas I know my year in advance. I know exactly where we'll be a year in advance, and I can tell you.
Yeah.
So, like, my girlfriends know, like, we get dates on the calendar after I get the schedule on, like, when I can see them, when they can come into town, you know, like, we have people scheduled, but it's, like, it can't be spontaneous.
Yeah.
It can be and can't, but, like, if it's a tournament week, nothing is spontaneous.
Yeah.
I would say, sorry to make it a long point, but even, like, what you said, like, with your mama asking about dinner, I don't think people understand necessarily, like, what goes into a tournament week, so they want to have dinner sometimes during a tournament, and you're like, we can't, because the distraction of it and, like, being outside of the world is, like, hard to come back into it. So, like, I don't like scheduling things during tournament weeks.
No.
Even if you're close. Like, we're going to be at James River this year, and obviously my family's there, so, like, I know we'll be doing dinner with them. Probably there's, like, a practice day night, so, like, that night. But my family knows, you know, how it goes, so, like, they're not expecting.
Okay, so I'm a little bit different in that. Like, I think it's good for Nick to kind of, like, necessarily get out of it and then just, like, maybe take a break for, like, an hour or two if his family there, like, we'll go have dinner with them. So that's a little bit different, but
I feel like maybe if Matt's family was in town it would be different. I don't know. I don't typically like to schedule anything. But that also could just be a me thing. Matt is, like, you know, his head is level regardless of life. I'm the, you know, crazy wave of a human over here. But I think we're a good balance. So last question, and we'll take a little break. If we were to have a WAGS fishing tournament, so wife and girlfriend fishing tournament, which wife or girlfriend do you think would win? And I'm going to add some caveats because we have had some people on that have asked for different caveats. It's going to be a team tournament, and our guys are running the boat. We're just fishing.
Okay. I think Anna Cooper. I think her and Justin would do really well.
Yeah.
Because I think she can fish, like, pretty good.
I think she can
like,
too.
Throw a bait caster really well and, like, throw big baits, and I'm not the best at that. I think they would do well.
I like it. I think they would too. I really, like, would like to do it just, like, on a small scale just for fun.
It would be so much fun.
Because I think it would be a blast. I was talking to Kristen about it, and she was like, well, she's like, I can reel them in. So, like, if they can find them, she's like, I can reel them in. She said, but I can only throw a chatterbait. Okay. Okay, so we are very glad to have them on the Bass Pro Tour. We're going to take a quick break and come back and dive into, like, the tournament fishing side of their life. So we'll be back. Okay, we are back. So let's get into the tournament side of things, or more into the tournament side of things. So starting from the top, when was Nick fishing when y'all met?
Yes, he was in college and he fished with his college partner, and I think he was a senior. It took him a while, like, to graduate, and because he was fishing so much, like, he would just completely skip class and not go and go fishing. So I think it took him like 6 years to get a 4-year degree.
Okay.
Like,
he was probably just enjoying himself.
Yeah, definitely. He was.
So when did he decide to go, like, professional? Did he always know he wanted to be a professional fisherman?
Yeah, he did. When he got to college, there wasn't a fishing team, and he was like, well, I'll start one up. So I think he made, like, flyers or posters or something and, like, put them on a bulletin board.
Oh.
And then one of his really good friends now saw it and called him and was like, hey, like, I love fishing too. Like,
I'll be a part of it.
Yeah, I'll be a part of it. And I think they had a total of, like, eight-ish guys, 6-8 guys. So
nice. Yeah. Were they team partners?
Mm-hmm. Nick and Corey was the one who called off the flyer. They fished, and then there were 2 others, or another set of 2, and then another set of 2. So nice. 6 maybe.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, that's a fun team. No, you're good. You can kick me. So was that the path he went? He went from college to where?
Then
like
the opens. He went to the opens. I almost forgot that. It was after he graduated. He was like, I want to try to make the elites. And the first year he fished, I don't remember how many points down make the elites. I think it was 9 at that time.
5 or 9.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I think the first year he fished,
because you had to do 3 opens that year probably, versus 9. You know what I mean?
He finished really close. Like, he barely missed it. So he was like, oh, I'll try it one more year. And at this time, he was working at Forward Air, and then they were like, you can't take any more time off. So he stopped working there, and he started mowing. And he was getting a little more time off, but it wasn't like the money wasn't coming in to be able to afford the fishing lifestyle. And
because it's freaking expensive,
it is.
By the way.
Yeah.
It's a very expensive sport.
So he started mowing, and he was getting the time off to fish, and so he decided to fish the opens one more year after he barely missed the qualification the first year. And he was close that year too. I don't think as close as the first year. He bombed on our home lake, and that's And after that,
it's always a hit or miss on the home lake.
It is. Yeah. After that, we took some time off from fishing, and that's when he started the guttering business.
That was right in the middle of, like, COVID and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Didn't y'all start in like 2020?
2020, yeah.
Yeah.
Into 2019, beginning of 2020 maybe.
Just kind of like perfect timing.
Yeah. So we started that to kind of try to fund the fishing a little more.
Yeah.
And it has. So, and everything's worked out now. And then so he started the guttering business, and then he saw Champlain on the Northern Toyotas, and he was like, I'd love to fish there. Yeah. Or I think he had been there once before, and he was like, I loved it. It's so beautiful. And I was like, well, I want to go. I want to go to New York. I thought we were going to, like, New York City. And
very different.
Yeah, very different. So I went up there with them, and he did well in that one. And then he was like, well, I'll fish the rest of them and see if I can make at that time it was the pro circuit.
Because there's 3 in a Toyota division. So if you are top in that division after 3 tournaments, you can make the pro circuit.
Yeah. So that's what happened. He finished well in all of them, and then he made the pro circuit and fished. He barely missed the BPT qualification the first year. And then last year he made the BPT. So that's what we're doing now.
Yes. Yeah. And we're very excited about it. I know. I'm super pumped about it. And Champlain, if you haven't been there, is gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Like,
so beautiful.
It's like 200-foot, like, deep lake water that is crystal clear, and then, like, gorgeous, huge mountains. Like, blue, huge mountains. Yeah. It is insane.
It's the most beautiful place ever.
I feel like when people think lakes, sometimes they think, like, murky and muddy.
Yeah.
And they're not at all. It's like, so incredible. And the smallmouth are freaking huge.
Yes. I tell Nick all the time, I'm like, if I just want to buy a summer house and live up there just all summer, because it's like no humidity.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's just beautiful.
I just love it.
It's so fun.
Love it.
So, did you know what you were getting into with the tournament world like this before you got here? So I know you knew that he was fishing. Like, did you know what this all entailed?
No, not really. Not at all. I remember the first time he took me fishing. I grew up like river fishing and pond fishing. My grandmother lives on the river, so we'd go out on like the little John boat and bluegill fish. And I remember the first time he took me on his boat, I was like, there's like TV screens on the boat. I was like, what are these? Like a fish finder, but depth finder, whatever. And I was just like so amazed. I was like,
Did the power poles blow your mind?
No, not the power poles. It was just the graphs for me. I was like, what? I don't get it. Like,
the power poles blew my mind.
Did they?
Yeah, I had no idea that those were anchors. I was trying to hold the boat. Like, the first time we went on, I was holding the boat. And he's like, you don't have to do that. Never seen them before in my life.
The power poles didn't
amaze me that
much. Yeah, just the depth finders. I was like, what is going on? But your question you asked.
Oh, sorry.
I kind of went off.
No, you're good. So did you know what you were getting into before Tournament World? So, like, you knew of fishing.
Yeah. No, I really didn't, like, know what I was getting into, really.
On this side of the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On just how hardcore and just
go mentally stimulating it is.
Yeah.
So what did your family do when, like, you guys were like, well, he's going pro. I'm traveling with him. He is now like a professional fisherman. Like, what did they understand about it all?
They understand to an extent. I don't think that they fully, like, completely understand. They all love, like, watching live, and they get, like, super into it. But I don't think they understand what all goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I definitely think that.
Yeah.
So what do you think, kind of playing into that, is the biggest misconception about this lifestyle or the sport in general?
Just that it's like I feel like for more us, the wives and girlfriends and everything, that it's just like a fairy tale. Like, you just get to travel all the time and just get to spend so much time with them and just go fishing, and it's just not true. And I feel like probably everyone has said that, but it's so true. It's just not like that. It's just a lot of hard work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a blessing, but it also is like so much effort as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I do feel like about the sport, and we've talked about this a little before, and I've said it on here, but like people do think of it like what you grew up doing, like in a John boat, like catching fish. Like, oh, I used to go out with my dad and just catch them right off the dock, you know, like so easy, and it's so different than that.
So much effort and time and just work goes into it. It's not like you just go fish.
No. And you can go fish like to have fun, but in a tournament setting it's so different.
Yeah, because to compete with like the big league guys.
Yeah, best
I mean, you've got to put in the time and the effort to do well, I think.
100%. So what's your favorite thing about this world?
Where were we at? What was the last tournament we were at?
Redcrest, Lay Lake, or Santee Cooper, South Carolina?
No, for some reason I'm not thinking of either of those, but I was talking to
Sam Rayburn?
No. Maybe it wasn't even... I can't... Maybe it was Redcrest. I was just like, just the people you get to meet while doing it. I don't remember it being at a tournament, though, for some reason.
Maybe it's at that expo.
Maybe. I can't remember, but I was just telling Nick, I was just like, this is just so awesome, the people we get to meet and the experiences that we get to have. Like, we are so blessed to be able to do this. And yeah, I'd say that's the best part about it.
Favorite thing for sure. So, do you guys Airbnb, hotel, or camper it while you're in a tournament?
We usually Airbnb it up. If we have to stay in a hotel, we will.
Yeah.
We thought about the camper deal. Just sometimes it gets to be a lot, like staying with a bunch of other people and everything, but it's fun sometimes too. So, I mean, there's downs and ups to everything, but we thought about a camper, we just never did.
Yeah.
So mostly Airbnb. We VRBO it.
I know, we thought about the camper too. It's just, it was like not really cost effective when it came down to it. Because we'd have to buy another truck, then we wouldn't get our quality time.
See, I would want to do like the truck camper, like the big,
the one on the truck.
Yes, because I don't want to drive separate. Yeah. That's not my cup of tea. Yep. I do not want to do that. So
I just don't know how people that have those store all their tackle. That would be our issue, because while this man complains about my 2 bags of luggage, he has a whole hunk trunk full of boxes of tackle.
Yes. I don't know how it goes. Because that thing goes in the bed.
I know.
I mean, I guess in the camp. I don't know.
In the top part, maybe? I don't know. That was like my only thing, because again, like I would want to do that as well. I wouldn't want like the potty on the outside, you know. Have you seen those things? Yeah. Like I don't like all that. I don't want to touch all that. Yeah. But
like the gray tanks. And
the gray and whatever water. Yeah. I just no. Yeah, no. I don't want to do that.
I mean, I would, but I do like to Airbnb it.
So. I mean, I would rather like tent camp, I think, than touch one of those things.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to touch that little trolley. Okay, we campered, like, actual RV'd, and it's totally different because the pipes, like, just hook directly up. Like, you don't have to see it. But the little ones, there's this, it's like a trolley, and you have to carry the trolley around. And so you're carrying, like, the bathroom around, and I just can't, I cannot. I mean, I'm, like, pretty, like, woodsy of a human. Like, I do not care. I will go to the bathroom anywhere outside. But toting it around is, like... Hard pass.
No, not doing that.
Too much information there, probably, but
I don't know that I would rather tent camp than do that, though.
No? Oh,
sleeping on the ground.
Well, no, you gotta get one of the blow ups that's double stacked. Oh. It's fabulous. Mm-hmm. It's the best. You can hear everything.
I've had horrible experiences with air mattress. Like me and Nick were sleeping on one, and we just woke up. Number one, it was a twin mattress. We were staying at friends' houses.
Oh and my gosh! Y'all stayed together on a twin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We sure did.
That's some quality time.
Yeah. And we woke up and it was just like completely flat, and we were right on the floor, and I was like, oh. I think it had a hole in it. I don't even remember.
They are really bad for the holes.
Yeah.
So do you guys cook at the Airbnb or typically eat out during tournaments?
A little bit of both. A little more cooking than eating out. Just I'll go to the grocery store and just get a bunch of meals and usually cook that. Yeah. But we do go out to eat.
I feel like it depends on the place. Like, if we find a good food place, it's hard to not go out. Yeah. Because it...
Definitely.
Especially because the guys do have an off day, like, right after practice before... well, not really anymore, but they used to have an off day. Now it's kind of an off day because they have 3 practice days. So we'll go out that night, or, like, the A and B day night, we'll go out.
Yeah.
But just, you know, with the house. So that's super fun.
Yeah.
But we do like eating at home, too. So what's something random that you do, or just something that you do that you think helps make Nick more successful on the water?
I don't know. Like, he really doesn't require a ton. I guess just, like, having everything ready.
Yeah.
I would say, like, all his GoPros plugged up and all that kind of stuff. But he really doesn't require a whole lot to be, like, ready.
Yeah.
And he does his tackle and stuff. But,
yeah.
I don't know. What do you do?
I mean, like, we have our own little, like, routines, kind of, and, like, both of us are, like, I would say routine-oriented humans. So, like, I do the coffee and the breakfast and the sandwiches, and, like, I like to put the sandwiches out and write their little names on them. You know, like, it's more that stuff, but it's not really, like, none of them would need it. It's just, like, how it's been and how I like to do it. But I like that you're the back-end thinker, because I am terrible with, like, those kind of details. So, like, if I need to go somewhere, like, Matt is the one that's like, did you charge this battery? Did you do this? So, like, I like that you're that thinker, because...
Or, like, pull the GoPro footage off the little memory card and have it all ready.
Yeah, like...
Kind of more of that.
Yeah, I am not... I'm, like, more, like, the... Like... periphery stuff. Like, I like that you're, like, that detail-oriented. Because if it was up to me, all of his stuff would be dead, including the boat somehow. Like, 100% of the time. That is not, I'm not a fine detail human. So I bet he really appreciates that about you, because I know I would.
Yeah. He always tells me, he's like, thank you so much for, like, everything you do. And I'm like, well, really, like, what is it in his mind? Yeah. So, but
it's all those things, because without you, like, he would or wouldn't think about them, but it wouldn't be continuous, right?
And I always try to get it done. Like, it's rarely ever in the morning that I'm, like, packing everything up. It's, like, that night, because we are notorious for sleeping past our alarms. Like, we'll wake up in full panic mode, and he's like, getting brushing his, and like how you say you pack lunch and do breakfast and do coffee. If I have time, I'll do the coffee, but he's usually like grabbing Uncrustables out of the freezer and just like we're running out the door. And
I like that y'all freeze your Uncrustables. I forgot y'all did that. It's good because by the time it's ready, it's like
he's an Uncrustable guy.
And I program the coffee, so nothing too crazy, but I program it the night before. So what is y'all's typical tournament day routine?
Okay, so we sleep past our alarm, wake up, grab some Uncrustables, and hit the road.
Do you guys have any superstitions or things you do, like, every morning or anything before tournaments? You don't have to. I'm just wondering.
We, like, jam on the ramp. We, like, turn the music up real loud and sing and that, but nothing really.
I love that.
Superstitiously.
Yeah. You don't have to do that every morning. You guys just like to do it.
Yeah. I know we had talked about the black cat thing. Mm-hmm. He said he saw one the other day. Or it was in his boat. He got it out of his dad's garage, and there's been cats, like, in the garage and everything. And he said there was a black cat in his boat. But the thing about the black cat is where we used to live, he would, like, leave that morning, go to a fishing tournament, and I would see a black cat. And every time I saw it, it seemed like he did well in the tournament. So when we moved here, I was like, and it looked like the same black cat. Who knows if it was. But I was like, when we moved here, I was like, there's not going to be a black cat. But thank God there's cats all in this neighborhood. So I've seen cats. So
it is crazy so we were talking about, like, the black cat, because I see the black cat when Matt does well, or, like, when, like, something crazy happens. So, like, to give perspective on that, Santee Cooper knockout round, Matt was down under the cut line, and in the last 3 minutes, he caught 2 fish to get in the cut line. But it was crazy. He needed, like, a 314, and he caught a 313. So he needed another fish. And the craziest part is, before all of this, I was sitting at the Dollar General, and I was on FaceTime with one of my friends, and this black cat just, like, shoots across the Dollar General, like, it was, like, almost out of the front door, like, and down the thing. And I just, like, had this feeling, like, everything's gonna be okay kind of deal. And then I was picking him up because they were trailering that event, and I was like, I freaking knew it! I, like, get out the car screaming because I knew it.
Saw the black cat and knew.
You just knew. Yeah. So I don't know if it's an actual thing, but but I do, like, anytime, a tournament's going on, if I see one, I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
And it's weird because it's, like, usually bad luck. So
but we both had black cats as kids. Like, that was our chosen cat. Like, and so we always thought, like, it was, like, a good thing for us. Yeah. But, I mean, typically, like, it would be bad. Yeah. So, what do you think Nick would say was his favorite moment or biggest high point of his career?
Definitely winning at the Potomac last year. It was just crazy. I mean, Matt won both those last year. Like, it's just a crazy
moment. Such a fun moment. Yeah. It really is. Did he expect it? Like, did he think he was going to win?
No, I don't think. That morning, I think he had an idea. Like, he said he just, like, felt different. Yeah. And I heard him. He was in the bathroom getting ready, and I heard him. I guess he was, like, standing in front of the mirror. And I don't know what he said to this day, but I heard him talking. And I asked him what he said, and I guess he was just, like, pumping himself up.
Oh, I love that. Like, affirmations.
Yeah. So,
I think that's so underrated. I do think you should talk to yourself.
And after I dropped him off at the ramp that morning, I had like a weird feeling, just like something good was going to happen. And it did. I mean, he ended up winning, so it was great. It was so much fun, and it was just a day.
Yeah,
I hope we don't ever forget. Yeah.
No, I love that. And that's really cool. One, because he made BPT last year with points, but he got to fish Red Crest this year because of that win, because that was the way you could qualify. Kind of like I was telling you guys a couple weeks ago, Matt Stebbin qualified like that. Like, it's awesome. It's so cool that invitational wins get you into the Red Crest. So it's automatic money, but then it's also like our biggest event of the entire year on the MLF side. So it's just super fun that he was able to fish that, and he actually did very well at his first Red Crest. So it was super exciting.
Yeah, it was.
Was that your favorite moment of his career, or do you have a different favorite moment?
Like him winning? Mm-hmm. That was probably my favorite moment too. Just to like see how happy he was, and just like
enjoy
all the hard work is like paid off. But now here we are again. Like, you're never trying to not make it never get another win. So
I know. I think that is like an underrated part of this sport too. Like, when you get the win, it still is not finished. Yeah. Like, you still have another. So it's like always, like,
you always just want another one.
Yes.
Like, he said winning that one made him
want it again.
Yes.
And again,
like,
and again.
more than he wanted it the first time. He wants another one. So
that's Matt. Like, babe. I mean, that would be awesome. Yeah. I'm like, all right, fine. Go and win all 6. Like, let's go. So how many more years do you see Nick fishing?
A long time. I mean, a long time. Mm-hmm. Like,
I know. Same with Matt.
I don't know how old some of the older men are.
Like a Rick Clun, like isn't he like 70 something?
Yeah,
and he's still fishing. Yeah. And he fishes the elites, but or like Mark Davis.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, I see like pretty old, like 60 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 30 now, so 30 more years. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows?
Matt always says, like, as long as he wants, like, he's going to fish forever, like, as a human, but he wants to remain competitive, like, at this level, for as long as possible. Yeah. So, like, if he's still competitive at 80, we'll still be fishing at 80. So, you'll see us get wrinklier and wrinklier. Yeah. Hopefully him
we'll just
before
have to keep the podcast going. Like,
yes. Well, I mean, there'll always be new wives. And then we'll be like, when I was
definitely, when I was doing this.
So, like we said, it was Nick's first year on the Bass Pro Tour, which also means it was his first year of Every Fish Counts, because prior to that, it was bring in your best 5 and you weigh them in. And with this tour, they actually get to weigh on the water, so it helps with conservation and all of the things. But he's doing pretty good after his first 2 events. So how is he liking it? How are you guys liking the format?
It stresses me out, like, to the max. Like at Red Crest, when he was, like, right on the cut line of, like, I think they were making it to the championship round. And he was, like, a few, like, if 11th place would have caught one, Nick would have been out. Yeah. And there was, like, 3 minutes left, and I was, like, a nervous wreck. So
it breeds so much intensity, I think. Like, it really does.
It's so intense. Nick says that if more people could fish it, that they would appreciate it more, just like how tough it is. Because a lot of people think like, oh, anybody can just go out there and catch 2-pounders all day. But like, sometimes it's not like that. Like, you still are fishing for big fish or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like Santee, I mean, that was like the tournament of big fish. Like, you had to have like an 8 every day, which is insane. Yeah. Because it was like, it was fewer bites, but they were bigger fish. So, like, the numbers added up.
Yeah, definitely.
But, yeah, I mean, he fishes still some of the invitationals like we do, too, right?
Yeah. So, we're fishing all the invitationals this year. Kind of trying to double qualify. Yeah. Just, I mean, in case if he doesn't make it, if he doesn't re-qualify for the Bass Pro Tour this year, but he qualified through the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals.
Then he'd be back up.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a smart decision. I think it's good. When we fish them too, because Matt still likes the 5 fish just as much as he likes the every fish counts. Yeah. And it just kind of gives you like, different sides of the sports. Yeah. Which is funny. You just have to remember to call. Yeah. Like, we had the first event. He's like, I don't even know if I have my call tags numbered. So I'm like sitting up, like drawing. Yeah, with a Sharpie. I was like, I don't have any. Normally I put nail polish over. Oh yeah. I was like, I don't have any nail polish. She's like, they'll be fine. I'm like, okay. And then, like we were talking about, we just had Red Crest, and Nick did very well in it. But what did you guys think about like the overall event? Because this is your first Red Crest that you're fishing. You had been to Red Crest before, but first that you're fishing. First that we were fishing, too. This first we could qualify for it, so.
It was, I think, it was hectic, just like everything that we had to do and everything. But, I mean, it was so much fun. Like, it was a great tournament. We had a lot of fun. But we transferred over to the hotel. You guys did not, right? No. Okay, so we transferred over to the hotel. So we would wake up at, like, 4 a.m., drive to the boat ramp, or shuttle to the boatyard to get the boat, drive to the boat ramp, which was like an hour, and then they'd get off at, I don't know what 3:30, yeah. And then they had to do interviews or whatever there, so then they would have to drive back through Birmingham traffic to get to the expo. It was
crazy. Yeah, so for you guys, and you may or may not know, but the lake that we were fishing was an hour away from Birmingham, which is where the actual expo was. Not any different than normal. Every year it's been like that. And we chose to stay on the lake the whole time, which meant that we were driving back and forth to Birmingham if we had to go to Birmingham. But every morning we were closer to the ramp. But a lot of the guys, especially the ones that their families had come into town, the families were staying in Birmingham. So the guys were having to go from Birmingham to the lake every morning and then, back every night. So it was like what she said, like a 4 a.m. wake up call to try and make all that happen, which that's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. I don't know. I think we'll probably stay close to the lake again next year.
I think
we
will
make it.
Too. So if Nick makes it, I think we'll stay.
I just hope we can find, there's not really many big, well, Gunnersville is where we're going next year, and it's in Huntsville. So that's still like 50 minutes. Yeah. But again, like, I don't know if I doubt he'll want to be in the hotel. I think he'd rather, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
I'd say we'll stay on the lake. Yeah. I would assume.
It might be a little easier. Yeah. But yeah, I loved it. I love Red Crest. I love expos, and I love like all the people that get to come down. It's just so much fun. Yeah. And meeting all the fans. Yeah. Like, I love when they walk up and they're like, I love seeing you on TV, or I love, and then Matt gets all excited. It's just fun. Yeah. So during
so much fun.
regular tournament season, do you watch live?
I do. I'm a big live watcher.
Yeah, same.
I'm like into it big time. Do you just sit and stare?
Yeah.
Sometimes like if like Nick's not doing well, I'll be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna watch it for like 15 minutes, and 3 minutes later, I'm like, I can't do it. I gotta watch.
So she plays the crazy game that we all play with ourselves on that we're putting juju out in the world. Yes. That we need to take back. Do you watch in front of other wives, or can you watch in front of other wives?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I always ask that, and I always say it's like hit or miss for me, because depending on like who it is and like how their person's doing, sometimes I feel like it gets a little awkward.
Yes, same. I'm the same way.
And I'm like a terribly awkward human, generally speaking. So like I try to make a situation not awkward, and it just goes downhill. It's just not good. So I just sit by myself or with Kristen because like we can watch, but it's hard. So from your perspective, what do you think makes a successful angler? And I cannot say that word. Successful angler.
I feel like I've said this a million times, but just like the hard work and dedication to the sport and the drive you have to have.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's it.
And I don't know why that question's at the end. But last question, and then we'll wrap up with a few quick hits. What are you most proud of that you both have accomplished together? Fishing or non-fishing related?
You gave me the idea because I didn't think of it. I'm proud of Nick for when we were kind of running out of money and didn't have the money to fund the fishing when he started his gathering business. It's a huge accomplishment that we're grateful to have now and be able to do what we do. So I'm really proud of him for that.
I'm like, I was telling her I was super proud of them for even thinking along those lines, because I do think it's like a tendency for people to be like, well, I'm done. I don't have it.
Yeah.
So instead, him finding an avenue to get him here, I find it so lovely when people think like that and they're like doers. And I just love those types of humans. Yeah. So I was like wildly proud of them for that. And then obviously like structuring their family to be able to support it instead of, you guys go into boatloads of debt or something like that, do it differently, and have to work your way out of that. So, all right, we are going to wrap up with a few quick hits, and then I'll have a question from our previous guest as well. So, what is your PB and where did you catch it?
It was either a 6'7" or a 6'8". Smallmouth on Lake Ontario.
What?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. Nick gave me, he was out there trying to scope, and I was like, I throw a Kitech. I love throwing Kitech, just slow reeling a Kitech, and he put me on this little black one. And I was just blind, fan casting all around the boat, and he's like, you're not going to catch one, doing that. And I was like, I set the hook and I was like, Nick, it's big. And it came up and jumped. And I mean, it was huge, or it seemed huge. And
that is huge. Yeah, that is a huge
awesome. Smallmouth. And I was so mad we didn't have the GoPro going. And I was we got pictures of it. But I was like, I wanted to watch it so bad.
And they're so fun because they jump everywhere. Yes, they're so aggressive. Mm-hmm. And they just swell. They get this versus long. They're footballs.
100%.
So what is your go-to show or movie?
My go-to show is Grey's Anatomy or One Tree Hill. And
One Tree Hill.
I love The Devil Wears Prada, that movie.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. See, then you'd love Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Yeah, probably.
Can you back a boat?
Not under pressure. I can, but it takes me a good 15 to do it. Yeah. 15 tries, 15 minutes.
That's not bad.
Pull up straight, back down, pull up.
I told Kristen I was going to, because she wants to learn, and we were going to surprise Spencer with it. So if you want to jump on the lessons.
Yeah.
Because I think of it differently than anyone's ever tried to explain it to me.
I don't know. You've told me the way you think of it, and I still can't think that way. Yeah. Imagine sitting on the boat trailer.
Mm-hmm. Which, once you, get there, it makes more sense. Yeah. But everyone has to find their own way. So, that one works for me, but I feel like it's, a time thing. So, I told her, I was at the next couple of tournaments, we should just go out during a practice day and mess with it.
Yeah, when Nick, they fished, it was either, day 4 or day 5. You know how Jody and Rob do that.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We got to the ramp really early that morning, and there was nobody else there. And I was like, well, I'm going to practice. And I did it, successfully, several times. And then I messed up one time, and I was like, screw this, I'm done. And I went and parked it.
Yeah, because it makes sense until it doesn't. And then you're like, how do I get out of this?
Yes.
It's the getting out of.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but if you want, you're more than welcome to join.
I might do it.
And I always ask this question, but if you played Uno together with a group and you had to draw a 4 card, would you play it on Nick or wait until you got a reverse and play it on someone else?
I would play it on Nick. Because he would play it on me. He would. He definitely would.
I said I wouldn't play it on Matt, and because I was thinking back to Christmas, and I would play it on others before I would play it on him.
Yeah.
But I have been working on it, and we played Uno at Kristen and Spencer's house, and this was awesome. Their daughter Kennedy had a +4, and they play, if you have a +4 and a +4, you can stack them. So I played my +4 on top, and it went to Matt, so he got a +8. So I'm super bummed with myself. But let me just say, karma came around because they had a card that said pass your hand.
Oh,
so after he got all those, then they passed it to me, and then he ended up with
that's karma.
But it was karma.
That's karma.
So speaking of Kristen, I always ask, what is a question you have of our next guest without knowing who it is? And Kristen asked you, without knowing who you are, what would be your dream career?
I'd have to say a diabetes educator, because I have type 1 diabetes, so I loved my diabetes educator and just everything she was able to help me with, and I would want to be like in a pediatric office or pediatric hospital, whatever.
Explaining it to kids. Yeah.
And teaching them what to do and how to count their carbs and what they can eat that doesn't have carbs and all the medicine and
I like it because I think, in type 1, you can't control with food, right? It's your body's regulation.
Yes, like your pancreas doesn't make insulin anymore, so you have to do either shots or I have the pump wherever it's at right there. So that gives me insulin. I do. Yeah. Much better than the shots. The shots are just like not convenient at all. Like you always have to have your vial of insulin and a syringe and all that. Yeah.
And it's like, aren't you kind of guessing too on what you'll need because of what you eat, right? It's in it like a bolus that you have to do?
Yeah, it's called a bolus. I count my carbs, so it's like if I was going to eat a cheeseburger, I remember this from when I was in the hospital. I think the cheeseburger I ate had 38 grams of carbs in it. And say that was for dinner, you have different ratios for every meal. So breakfast would be like 1 carb per every, or 1 unit of insulin per every 15 grams of carbs. And then lunch would be like 1 to 17 grams. And dinner would be like 1 to 20. So you divide 38 by, let me think.
15.
My thing does it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you would divide 38 by 15 and then whatever that number would be, that's how much insulin you would give.
Yeah. So, and with these, you don't even have to think about it. It just does it. Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. You still have to count your carbs, but the ratios are already in there. Oh, that's nice.
I just plug the carbs into a little device that comes with this thing, and it gives me the medicine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's more freeing for sure.
Definitely.
So, what is your question for our next guest without knowing who it is?
I would ask, like, what do you do during the day? Like, do you have another job? Do you work during the day? Or do you, like, edit videos? Or do you just sit and chill at the house? Or what do you do?
I like it. Okay, so that is our show this week. Thank you so much for being here, obviously, or being in your own house. Thank you so much for allowing me to come in. And if people want to follow y'all's business or Nick's BPT run this year, where can they look?
Nick's Instagram is nickhat47. His guttering is hatfields.guttering on Instagram. And I think it's just Hatfields Guttering on Facebook. And his Facebook is Nick Hatfields Fishing. And we're going to make him a TikTok. It'll probably just be Nick Hatfield Fishing, so go follow him on there. And I think that's it.
I think TikTok is good. Yeah. It's just like, it hits all different generations of people.
I have mine, and I like post some tournament stuff on there, but my algorithm isn't set up for bass fishing. It's like girly makeup and cooking videos.
Girl, I had no idea. Like when I started Matt's,
it's way off.
His whole thing was about Highland cows because I got in that TikTok because I love cows and animals, and so I'm sure it was showing all of his stuff to other Highland cow lovers, and they're like, "Why do we have a bass fisherman in our feed?"
Yeah. That's hilarious.
But I know, they're so cute and fuzzy. But you guys know I love the women behind Professional Bass Fishing, and I can't wait to keep sharing their stories and perspectives with you all. So if you have any questions or suggestions like Karen's, because that was awesome, please comment them below, or things I should ask, guests you guys want to see, comment all of that below. I plan to release 1 episode a week. It's always on Thursday. And throughout the rest of the tournament season, so make sure you subscribe to follow along. Oh, I also did create an Instagram so that you guys know when stuff is dropping, and it's just at Random Kitchens, I think, or at Random Kitchens Podcast. But the logo looks the same. So if you want to follow on there too, feel free. Until next time, bye!